Hey guys, yeah, get some light going on. There we go. JT here with a quick RC car cleaning video. Now, I told you guys before that when my cars get really dusty, dirty, muddy, I'll make sure I have an extra pack that I can take it and run it through a really tall or thick grassy area. Not so much where it's going to strain the car, but so much as where the car can run through the grass. And sometimes the grass acts kind of like a brush, and what it does is it gets a lot of that dirt and dust and grind and stuff off of your car, and saves you the hassle of putting extra time into cleaning it. So, but what I do to clean my cars is I have a couple of things that I use. I have an old toothbrush that I use. I have a paintbrush, and what I use on my cars is Mr. Clean. This right here, I'll just put it in a squirt bottle. Of course, it says Simply Green, but it's not. It's actually Mr. Clean in here. Dilute it with a little water, and then I'll spray off my RC cars with it. I actually spray it either on the brush or on the toothbrush, and I'll kind of go over it. And then I got a couple of rags, too, that I use to, like, wipe down. I'll spray it either here on the chassis or on some of the components and just wipe over. So if it's really muddy and stuff and the car is water resistant, I do take it to a car wash. Yes, a car wash. And what I'll do is I won't run it on anything but the water cycle, but I will use, like, here's some of the depends on where I'm gonna spray it off the most, but I will use, this can focus in a little bit. This is some of the bearing oil and grease I use, or some WD-40 is just fine as well. You want to put the WD-40 if you're gonna spray it at a car wash over some of the screws and stuff. And you don't want to saturate, you just kind of want to spray it lightly off so it gets most of the big chunks and dirt off. So anyway, with this one, I did kind of spray it off already, at least on the chassis, but I'll just spray a little bit of this on there, and then I'll just take this rag and then I'll just wipe over the chassis. Now, that some chassis may have scratch marks and stuff like that, so it's of course not going to get rid of that, but bam. You see, chassis and stuff does look better than it did before. Now, it's got more scrape marks and stuff on it. You can kind of see them somewhat. And I did take it to a rockier area, so it did get more scrapes on it. To avoid this, you can always put like either duct tape on the bottom of your chassis, or I use some J Concepts chassis pickers, real clear, you can put over the bottom of this chassis or other chassis as well, and some of the back components. And that'll keep me from having a scratched up chassis. So for the rest of the car, what I do, put this here. I'll just spray some, probably on the tip of this brush. I have to put some more in here because it is kind of running low. And then I'll just literally kind of brush it over my car. Now, I did spray a little bit too much on here, but eventually it'll kind of wipe off onto the car. And sometimes you can go over, if it's got a lot of dust on it, instead of going over it first with a wet brush, you just want to take the brush and kind of brush over to get some of that dust off, like that. And I got this on this old towel for a reason, because now you see I'm wiping some of that excess Mr. Clean off of here. So like I said, you probably want to dilute this with a little bit of water so that it's not as strong when you're down there cleaning, because you will be inhaling some of that. So wiping that off, bam. You guys see how much cleaner this car is looking. So this side compared to, you probably can't see it that well, of course, to this side. So this side, you can just, like I said, take the brush. I'll close this up. You know, just gently brush it off. That's what I'm doing here. You can get an air compressor or something like that and do that as well. But you guys see how this dust and dirt is coming off, and it's not eating away at the plastic or anything like that. Same thing can be said for the tires and wheels. Sometimes you may have to take them off, and you want to be careful if you're spraying this at a car wash too, because you don't want to get a lot of water inside your tires, because they do have foam in there, and that foam is going to absorb that water like a sponge. So same thing can be said for these. You could just spray a little bit on your tires and wheels. You could take the tire off, you can wipe it off, or you can spray it cover the tire with this Mr. Clean, and then take some running water and just run it over top of it real lightly and kind of rotate the tires. And what that'll do is that'll get all that dirt and grime off of there as well. Now, in the past, when I used to go to tracks and stuff, we used to have something that was built with like a little brush with bristles, thicker bristles on it, and it'd be a little soap and water, and we'd take our tires and kind of rub it over it. And what that would do is it'd be something like, it'd be a lot thicker than this, but it would help get some of that dirt and grime off of the tire and wheel. But this will do it as well if you do something like that. And you can actually spray it over the tire and stuff like that. And you can kind of wipe it off and stuff, or just spray that off with just water. And that'll keep your tires from looking so bad, and it'll actually help the performance of your tires too, because that dirt and stuff does get on here, and it will have eventually at some point in time, just like a regular car tire, you want to keep your regular car tire kind of clean and stuff. It'll help you get better traction and better tread life on your tires as well if you try to keep them somewhat clean. Now, you're not going to be cleaning your car probably every day, but I try to clean my cars at least once or twice. It depends on how many cars it is, every couple of weeks or so, because you see this is kind of dusty, dirty, so I'm going to spray this off again real quick. Just put a little bit on there. I'll dab this down here. Wipe this down. I'll wipe over the motor. Now for the motor, since this is a brush motor, I will put a little bearing oil in there, even though I didn't run it too hard, but it did run on some dirt. So I like to keep the motor of this life, or the life of this motor, as long as I can. I want to keep it running pretty good and pretty optimal performance here. So I'll put a little bit of oil there, and if I want to, I can take the spur gear cover off and remove that gear here for this one. Excuse me, and put a little oil there on the other side too. It just helps with keeping the motor running pretty efficient, and it's helped me to keep my motors running good, actually, all my brush motors. So that is just a quick video. Although this car is not as dusty and dirty as some of my other ones, maybe someday I'll go to the car wash and show you guys how I do that. But like I said, if you go to a car wash, do use some WD-40. Put it over like your screws and stuff, just a tad bit of it. Put it especially into where your bearings are going to be exposed, like up in here, up in the wheels and stuff, and just spray it off. You know, spray it off and then dry it off. And sometimes after I spray it off and I dry it off, I'll hook a battery into it real quick, and I'll run it real light in the air just to get the rest of that water and stuff out. So you want to kind of use caution and stuff when you do that. But those are the ways that I kind of keep my cars looking pretty clean, and how to clean them and keep them done pretty well. So like areas up in there that I can't really get, sometimes I'll spray this brush, and I'll just, like I said, wipe down in this area, you know, as well, and get some of these hard to reach parts and areas that I can't always get to with the paintbrush. So anyway, guys, if you have tips and tools for how you clean your cars, go ahead and put them down in the comments. We're always interested in seeing new ways of people cleaning their cars and stuff. I'm going to go ahead and finish wiping this thing down. I'm going to do the same thing, of course, to my body as well. Go ahead and get this thing wiped down. But this can be sprayed over the sink or something like that. You just spray it and just run it through the sink or over the tub or something like that. So, like I said, that's a quick video of this. You guys, don't forget, put some comments below. I'm interested to see how you guys clean and wash your cars as well. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe if you're not a subscriber, and stay tuned for more videos. Thanks for watching. Oh, and by the way, that's not ghosts floating in. That's sometimes I'm in the war room, so sometimes dust particles fly up. You see that? You see that white that just flew up around there? That wasn't a ghost or an orb. Thanks, guys, for watching.